Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naranam Namaskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Devi Nashtavrayam Suravantehi Nityam Bhagavatasya Bhagavati Uttam
Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Krishna. Bhagavati Namaskritya. So continuing with the discussion on Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila Chapter 18. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit to Sri Vrindavan. Text 112. So, yesterday we studied how some Brajvasis came to Mahaprabhu saying, we have seen Krishna at night and dancing on Kaliya, and the Kaliya's hood, the Jews on Kaliya's hoods were lit up. We saw Krishna. Balbhadra Bhattacharya, associate of Mahaprabhu, he also wanted to go and see Krishna. Mahaprabhu said, Krishna is not appearing in Kali Yuga. He doesn't appear as himself in Kali Yuga. So how can we see him? So later it was found that they were seeing a fisherman on his boat in the middle of the night with some torch, some lamp on his boat, and he was fishing in Yamuna, and they all thought it was Krishna dancing on Kali. But the people that Mahaprabhu met, they said, well, actually we have seen Krishna because you are Krishna. In a way they were right, but Mahaprabhu covered his ears. He says, Vishnu, Vishnu, iha na kahiba. Jiva dham Vishnu jnana kabhu na kariba. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately explained, Vishnu, Vishnu, do not call me the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A Jiva cannot become Krishna at any time. Do not even say such a thing. So now further he says, Sannyasi chitta karna jiva kiran karna samay chad aishwarya purna Krishna hai tu suryopama. A sannyasi in the renounced order is certainly part and parcel of the complete whole. Just as a shining molecular particle of sunshine is part and parcel of the sun itself. Krishna is like the sun, full of six opulence, but the living entity is only a fragment of the complete whole. So, Mayavadis, they say when somebody takes sannyas in their parampara, then he becomes Narayan, as good as Narayan. But Mahaprabhu is saying, that's not true. Sannyasi is also part and parcel. Sannyasi doesn't become the whole. Jiva Ishwar Tattva Kabhu Nahe Sama Jwalad Agni Rati Aise Sulinge Rakana. The living entity and the absolute personality of Godhead are never to be considered equal. Just as a fragmental spark can never be considered the original flame. This is huge difference. But if we think everybody is one, we are as good as God, then this is our mistake. Mayavadi sannyasis consider themselves Brahma, and they superficially speak of themselves as Narayana. The monastic disciples of the Mayavad school, known as Mahatma Brahmins, are generally householder Brahmins who accept the Mayavadi sannyasis as Narayan incarnate. Therefore, they offer their obeisances to them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately protested this unauthorized system, specifically mentioning that a sannyasi is nothing but a fragmental portion of the Supreme, Chitta Karna Jiva. In other words, he is nothing more than an ordinary human, ordinary living being. He is never Narayan, just as a molecular portion of sunshine is never the sun itself. The living entity is nothing but a fragmental part of the absolute truth. Therefore, at no stage of perfection can a living entity become the Supreme Personality of God. So we always remain Jiva. We're not going to become Krishna. This Mayavad viewpoint is always condemned by the Vaishnava school. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself protested this philosophy. When the Mayavadis accept sannyas and consider themselves Narayan, they become so puffed up that they do not even enter the temple of Narayan to offer respect, for they falsely think themselves Narayan himself. Although Mayavadi sannyasis may offer respect to other sannyasis and address them as Narayan, they do not go to a Narayan temple and offer respect. Big problem. These Mayavadi sannyasis are always condemned and are described as demons. The Vedas clearly state that living entities are subordinate parts and parcels of the Supreme. Even when we become liberated, or we go back to the spiritual world, still we remain subordinate parts and parcels of the Supreme. Eko Bahunam Yavidadhatikam. The Supreme Being, Krishna, maintains all living entities. So we don't become the maintainer of all living. Never gonna happen. Haladinya Samvid Ashlishta Sachitanandishvaraha Swavidya Samrito Jivaha Samklesha Nikarataha Karaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Supreme Controller, is always full of transcendental bliss and is accompanied by the potencies known as Ladini and Samvid. The conditioned soul, however, is always covered by ignorance and embarrassed by the threefold miseries of life. Thus, he is a treasure house of all kinds of tribulations. It's a huge difference. Krishna is always Satchidananda, and we have all kinds of miseries in our life. This quotation of Vishnu Swami is cited in Sridhar Swami's Bhavartha Deepika, commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Yehi mood kahe jiva Ishwar hai sama, sahi tapa chandi hai dande tare yama. A foolish person who says that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the same as a living entity is an atheist, and he becomes subject to punishment by the Superintendent of Death, Yamaraj. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the word Pashandi refers to one who considers a living entity under the control of the illusory energy to be equal with the Supreme Personality of God, who is transcendental to all material qualities. Another kind of Pashandi is one who does not believe in the spirit soul, the superior potency of the Lord, and therefore does not distinguish between spirit and matter. So while describing one of the offenses against chanting the holy name, specifically the offense called Shruti Shastra Nimna, blaspheming the Vedic literature, Jiva Goswami says in Bhakti Sandarbha, Yatha Pashanda Maragena, worshippers of impersonation, like Dattatreya, are also Pashandis, concerning the offense of Aham Mamma Buddhi or Dehatma Buddhi. Jiva Goswami says, those who are overly absorbed in the conception of the body and the bodily necessities are also called Pashand. So those who are overly absorbed in the conception of the body and bodily necessities are also called Pashand. That's basically 99.9% of population. Elsewhere in the Bhakti Sandarbha it is stated, the Pashandi is one who considers the demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead to be one. Therefore, a Pashandi worships any kind of demigod as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who disobeys the orders of the spiritual master is also considered a Pashandi. The word Pashandi has been described in many places, in different ways. But basically, one who does not believe or does not do devotional service of the Supreme Lord. is important for atheists. On the whole, a Pashandi is a non-devotee who does not accept Vedic conclusions. In Hari Bhakti Vilas, there is a verse quoted from Padma Puran describing the Pashand. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes this verse as in the next verse. Yastu Narayanam Devam Brahma Rudradi Devata Samatveneva Vikshepa Sapashandi Bhaveda Dhruva. A person who considers demigods like Brahma and Shiva to be on an equal level with Narayan is to be considered an offender or Pashandi. लोक कहे तोमाते कबू नाहि जीव मासी कृष्णेर सदृश तोमार आकृति प्रकृति. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the difference between an ordinary living being and the Supreme Personality of God, the people said, no one considers you an ordinary human being. You are like Krishna in every respect, in both bodily features and characteristics. आकृत्य तुम्हारे देखी व्रजेंद्र नंदन देह कांति पीतांबर कैलासदान. By your bodily features, we can see that you are none other than the son of Nanda Maharaj. Although the golden luster of your body has covered your original complexion. मृग मद वस्त्र बांधे तब न लुकाए ईश्वर स्वभाव तुम्हारे ढाका नहीं जाए. As the aroma of deer musk cannot be concealed by wrapping it in a cloth, your characteristics as the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be concealed by any means. अलौकिक प्रकृति तोमार बुद्धि अगोचर तोमा देखी कृष्ण प्रेम जगत पागल. Indeed, your characteristics are uncommon, beyond the imagination of an ordinary living being. Simply by seeing you, the entire universe becomes mad with ecstatic love for Krishna. स्त्री बाल वृंदार चांडाल जवान यही तोमार एक बार पाए दर्शन. कृष्ण नाम लय नाचे हाय उन्माता आचार्य हईला से हरीला जगत. If they see you just once, even women, children, old men, meat eaters, and members of the lowest caste immediately chant the holy name Krishna, dance like madmen, and become the spiritual masters capable of delivering the whole world. So this is the result of seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is on board. Dasaner karya achuk yetomar nama chune say Krishna preme mata tare tribhuvan. Apart from seeing you, whoever listens to your holy name is made mad with ecstatic love for Krishna and is able to deliver the three worlds. तुम्हारे नाम सुनी हर्ष पच पावन अलौकिक शक्ति तुम्हार न जाए कथन. Simply by hearing your holy name, dog eaters become holy saints. Your uncommon potencies cannot be described in words. Yan namadheya shravanad kirtanad yat pravanad yat smaranad api kvachat swadu api sadhya savanaye kalpate kutah panaste bhagavanu darshan. To say nothing of the spiritual advancement of persons who see the Supreme Person face to face. Even a person born in the family of dog eaters becomes immediately eligible to perform various sacrifices if he once utters the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chants about it, hears about his pastimes, offers him obeisances, or even remembers them. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam and also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila. So this is the power of chanting of the holy name. Ita mahima tomar tatastha lakshana sarup lakshane tumi brajendra nandana. These glories of yours are only marginal. Originally, you are the son of Maharaj Nanda. So two words are used here, tatastha lakshan and sarup lakshan. So Swarup Lakshan is the original characteristic of substance. That is Swarup. And Tatas means because of that Swarup, whatever corollaries we can say, or outside, outer lakshana, characteristics, what we see. The original characteristic of a substance are called Swarup, and subsequent corollaries are called Tatastha Lakshana or marginal characteristics. The glories of the Lord's marginal characteristics prove him to be the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaj Nanda. As soon as one understands this, one accepts Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. So, so he is the Supreme Lord, so that is the Swarup Lakshana. And Tatastha means this, and the glories of him, his glories, or him chanting, dancing, and displaying all the ecstatic symptoms. So they are Tatastha Lakshana. Say sab loke prabhu prasad karila, Krishna premi matta loka nij ghar gela. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then bestowed his causeless mercy upon all the people there, and everyone became ecstatic with love of God. Finally, they all returned to their home. Ei matta kata din akrure rahila, Krishna nam prema diya loka nistari. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remained for some days in Akrur Tirtha. He delivered everyone there simply by distributing the holy name of Krishna and ecstatic love for the Lord. Madhapuri Rishishya Saita Brahmana Mathura Ghare Ghare Karani Mantra. The Brahman disciple of Madhendrapuri went from house to house in Mathura and inspired other Brahmans to invite Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to their home. Mathurare Yatuloka Brahmana Sajjana Bhattacharya Sthane Asu Karani Mantra. Thus all the respectable people of Mathura, headed by the Brahmins, came to Balbhadra Bhattacharya and extended invitations to the Lord. Ekadena Dashabisha Aisha Nimantrana Bhattacharya Ekir Matra Karena Grahana. In one day, 10 to 20 invitations were received, but Balbhadra Bhattacharya would accept only one of them. Avsarna Pai Loka Nimantrana Dite Sei Vitre Sadhe Loka Nimantrana Nite. Since not everyone got an opportunity to offer invitations to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally, those who did not requested the Chanodiya Brahman to ask, those who did not accept, request the Chanodiya Brahman to ask the Lord to accept their invitation. Kanyakubhya Dakshinatera Vedika Brahmana Dhanakari Kare Mahaprabhu Nimantrana. The Brahmins from different places such as Kanyakubja and South India were all strict followers of the Vedic religion, offered invitations to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great humility. Pratakale akrure yasi randhana kariya Prabhu redhiksha dena shaligrame samarpiya. In the morning they would come to Akrur Tirtha and cook food. After offering it to the Shaligram Shila, they offered it to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they are Brahmins known as Panchagola Brahmins, who come from 5 places in North India. And they are Brahmins known as Panchadakshinatya Brahmins, who come from 5 places in Southern India. In Northern India, the places are Kanyakubja, Saraswat, Gauda, Maithil, and Utkal. In Southern India, the places are Andhra, Karnataka, Gujarat, Dravid, and Maharashtra. Okay, so Gujarat and Maharashtra come in South India. The Brahmins from these places are considered to be very strict followers of the Vedic principles, and they are accepted as pure Brahmins. They strictly observe Vedic principles and are not polluted by tantric mysteries. All of these Brahmins respectfully invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch. Is everybody having problem with my voice?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's not clear.
Oh, it's not clear.
Hmm.
Okay. God one.
It is clear, but it is feeble, very less voice.
Let me go to the speaker. Is it better?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I was using a headphone today. एक दिन से अक्रूर घाटे रहो पारे वसी महाप्रभु किछु करे न विचारे. One day Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat at the bathing ghat of Akrur Tirtha and thought the following thoughts. Akrur Tirtha is located on the road between Vrindavan and Mathura. When Krishna and Balram were being taken to Mathura by Akrura, the Lord rested at this place and took his bath in the Yamuna. When Krishna and Balram took their baths, Akrurji saw the entire world of Vaikuntha within the water. The inhabitants of Vrindavan also saw the Vaikuntha planets within the water. So this place is called Akrur Tirtha or Akrur Ghat. Also it is called Akrur Ghat. এই ঘাটে अक्रूर वैकुंठ देखिलाम ब्रजवासी लोक गोलोक दर्शन कइलाम. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, at this bathing place, Akrura saw Vaikuntha, the spiritual world, and all the inhabitants of Braj saw Golok Vrindavan. Ete bali jhampa dila jalera upare, dubiyara hila Prabhu jalera bitare. While considering how Akrura remained within the water, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately jumped in and stayed underwater for some time. देखी कृष्ण दास कांधी पुकार करीला भट्टाचार्य शीघ्र आसी प्रभुरे उठाईला. When Krishna Das saw that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was drowning, he cried and shouted very loudly. Balbhadra Bhattacharya immediately came and pulled the Lord out. तबे भट्टाचार्य से ब्राह्मण ने लाया युक्ति करीला किछु निवृत्ते बसिया. After this, Balbhadra Bhattacharya took the Shanodiya Brahman to a secluded place and consulted with him. Aji ami achilane uthailo prabhure vrindavane duve yadi ke utha betare. Balbhadra Bhattacharya said, since I was present today, it was possible for me to pull the Lord up. But if he starts to drown at Vrindavan, who will help me? Lokera Sanghat Ara Nimantranera Janjala Nirantar Avesh Prabhuna Dekhi Bhala. Now there is a crowd of people here, and these invitations are causing much disturbance. In addition, the Lord is always ecstatic and emotional. I do not find the situation here very good. Vrindavan haite yati Prabhu rekadi tabe mangal hai bhala yukti hai. It would be good if we could get Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of Vrindavan. That is my final conclusion. So they wanted him out of Vrindavan. So he doesn't drown himself in Yamuna again. Vipra kehe prayage Prabhu laya yahe Ganga tira pathe jaye tabe sukh pahe. The Shanodiya Brahman said, let us take him to Prayag and go along the banks of the Ganga. It will be very pleasurable to go that way. Sorokshetre aage yaya kari Ganga snana, sahi pathe Prabhu daya kariye payan. After going to the holy place named Sorokshetra and bathing in the Ganga, let us take Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that way and go. Sorokshetra. I wonder where that comes. माघ मास लागिला एबे यदि जाइए मकर प्रयाग स्नान कत दिन पाइए. It is now the beginning of the month of Magh. If we go to Prayag at this time, we shall have an opportunity to bathe for a few days during Makar Sankranti. So bathing during the month of Magh at the Magh Mela still takes place. This is a very old Mela assembly dating from time immemorial. It is said that ever since the Lord in the form of Mohini took a bucket of nectar and kept it at Prayag. Holy men have gathered there every year and observed the Magha Mela. Every 12th year, there is a Kumbh Mela, a great festival, and all the holy men from all over India assemble there. The Brahman wanted to take advantage of the Magha Mela and bathed there. Bathing at the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna near the fort at Allahabad, the Prayag, is mentioned in the revealed scriptures. Maghe Masi Gamishyanti Ganga Yamuna Sangam. If one goes to Prayag and bathes at the confluence of the Ganga and Yamuna in the month of Magh, he attains the result of giving hundreds and thousands of cows in charity. Simply by bathing for 3 days there, he attains the results of such a pious activity. Because of this, the Shanodiya Brahman was very eager to go to Prayag and bathe. Generally, karmis, fruitive laborers, take advantage of bathing there during the month of Magh, thinking that they will be rewarded in the future. Those who are situated in devotional service do not very strictly follow this karma kandiya process. So this Magh Mela or Kumbh Mela, every 12 years there is Kumbh Mela there in Prayag. It's amazing. So many people. They just keep coming. And it starts with the Naga Babas from Himalaya, and so many sadhus, they come from Himalaya. It's amazing. And then villagers from all over. And now, since it's a very well-known congregation, the people come from all over the world to bathe over there. Of course, everybody comes with different motive, but it's amazing seeing over there. So hope Prayagraj allows us to come next year. Apanar dukh kichu kari nivedan, makar panchasi prayage kariha suchan. The Shanodiya Brahman continued, kindly submit to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu the unhappiness you are feeling within yourself. Then propose that we will all go to Prayag on the full moon day of the month of Magh. Ganga Tira Pathe Sukh Jana Hai Tahare Bhattacharya Asitabe Kahila Prabhu Re. Tell the Lord of the happiness you will feel in traveling via the banks of the Ganga. Balbhadra Bhattacharya therefore submitted this prayer to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sahite na pariyami lokera gadabadi nimantrana lagi loka kare huda hudi. Balbhadra Bhattacharya told the Lord, I can no longer tolerate the disturbance of the crowd. People are coming one after another to offer invitations. Prata kale aise loka tomare na paya loka mora matha khaye. Early in the morning, people come here and not seeing you present, they simply tax my brain. Matha khaye. Tabe sukha haye abe Ganga pathe yai. Ebe yadi yai makara. Ganga snana paye. I'll be very happy if we all leave and take the path by the banks of the Ganga. Then we can have the opportunity of bathing in the Ganga at Prayag during Makar Sankranti. There are two great occasions for bathing in Ganga during Magha Mela. One is on the day of the dark moon, and the other is on the day of the full moon during the month of Magh. Udvikta haila prana sahite na pari prabhur ye agya hai se shiridhari. My mind has become very much agitated. I cannot bear this anxiety. Now everything rests on the permission of your Lordship. I'll accept whatever you want to do. Yadyapi vrindavan tyage nahi prabhur mana bhakta ichha purite kahe madhura vachana. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had no desire to leave Vrindavan, he began to speak sweet words just to fulfill the desire of his devotee. Tumi amayani dekhaila Vrindavana, ei rin ami nari bhakarite shodhan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you have brought me here to show me Vrindavan. I am very much indebted to you, and I shall not be able to repay this debt. ये तुम्हारे इच्छा में सहित करीबा, यहाँ लया त्याह तुम्ही ताईबा. Whatever you desire, I must do. Whatever you take, wherever you take me, I shall go. प्रातः काले महाप्रभु प्रातः स्नान कहिला, वृंदावन छाड़ीबा जानी प्रेमावेश आइला. The next morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up early. After taking his bath, he became ecstatic with love, knowing that he now had to leave Vrindavan, and he did not come back after that. Bhaya vikar nahi prema vishtumana, bhattacharya kahe chal yai mahavana. Although the Lord did not exhibit any external symptoms, his mind was filled with ecstatic love. At that time, Balbhadra Bhattacharya said, let us go to Mahavan, Gokul. Ete bali Mahaprabhu re nauka eva saya, par kari Bhattacharya chalila laya. Saying this, Balbhadra Bhattacharya made Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sit aboard a boat. After they crossed the river, he took the Lord with him. Premi Krishna Dasar Saita Brahman Ganga Tira Pathe Yai Bar Vigya Duija. Both Rajput Krishnadas and the Shanodiya Brahman knew the path along the Ganga bank very well. Yaita Eka Vrikshatale Prabhu Sabalaya Vasila Sabara Patra Shranti Dekhiya. While walking, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understanding that the others were fatigued, took them and all beneath a tree and sat down. Sei vriksha nikate chare bahu gabhigana taha deki Mahaprabhu ulasitamana. There were many cows grazing near the tree, and the Lord was very pleased to see them. Achambite ek gopa vanshi bajaila shuni Mahaprabhur Mahaprema veshaila. Suddenly a cowherd boy blew on his flute, and immediately the Lord was struck with ecstatic love. Achetan haya Prabhu bhumi te padila, mukhe fena pade nashaye swasha rudhaila. Filled with ecstatic love, the Lord fell to the ground unconscious. He foamed about the mouth and his breathing stopped. Hena kale taha ashoyara dasha aila. Malech Pathan Ghoda Haite Utarila. While the Lord was unconscious, 10 cavalry soldiers belonging to the Muslim Pathan military order rode up and dismounted. Prabhure dekhiya Malech kare vichara yehi yati paschila suvarna apara. Seeing the Lord unconscious, the soldiers thought, this sannyasi must have possessed a large quantity of gold. Ei chari batoyara dhutur khayo yaya mari dari yache yate raya sabdhan laya. These 4 rogues here must have taken away that sannyasi's riches, and after killing him by making him take the poison dhatura. See, everybody thinks or acts according to his mentality. So, because these Malage dacoits or whoever they were, soldiers, they're always thinking like that, how to cheat others, how to take their money. So they are thinking, these 4 must have killed the sannyasi, feeding him datura. They must have taken away his money. Tabe sai pathachari janera bandhila. Katit chahe godiya sab kampite lagiya. Thinking this, the Pathan soldiers arrested the 4 persons and decided to kill them. Because of this, the 2 Bengalis began to tremble. The 4 persons were Balbhadra Bhattacharya, his assistant Brahman, a Rajput Krishnadas, and the Shanodiya Brahman, devotee of Madhya Puri. Krishnadas Rajput, Nirbhay se bada, sei vipra nirbhay se, okay bada dada. The devotee Krishnadas, who belonged to Rajput race, was very fearless. The Shanodiya Brahman was also fearless, and he spoke very bravely. विप्र कहे पाठा तुम्हार पाछार दोहाई, चल तुम्ही आमिषे दार पाश आई. The Brahman said, you Pathan soldiers are all under the protection of your king. Let us go to your commander and get his decision. Ei ati amar guru, ami mathura Brahman. Pachara ache, age ache, more shat jan. The sannyasi is my spiritual master and I am from Mathura. I am a Brahman and I know many people who are in the service of the Muslim king. Ei ati vyadhite kabu haina murchita. Abahi chetan paibe haibe samvita. The sannyasi sometimes falls unconscious due to the influence of the disease. Please sit down here and you will see that he will very soon regain consciousness and his normal condition. क्षणे के यहाँ वैसा बांधी राखा सबारे, यहाँ के पूछिया तबे मारिया सबारे. Sit down here for a while and keep us all under arrest. When the sannyasi regains his senses, you can question him. Then, if you like, you can kill us all. Pathan kahe tumi pashim mathura dui jana, godiya thake kampe dui jana. The Pathan soldier said, you are all rogues. One of you belong to the western lands, one to the district of Mathura, and the other two who are trembling belong to Bengal. Krishnadas kahe amar ghare grame, dui shat turki ache, shatek kamane. Rajput Krishnadas said, I have my home here and I also have about 200 Turkish soldiers and about 100 cannons. Ekhai asibe sab ami yadi fukari, ghoda pida luti labe toma sab amari. If I call loudly, they'll all come immediately to kill you and plunder your horses and saddles. Gaudiya bada pada nahe, tumi bada pada. Tirthavasi luta ar chahamari vara. The Bengali pilgrims are not rogues. You are rogues, for you want to kill the pilgrims and plunder them. Shuniya Pathan mane sankocha haila, ena kale Mahaprabhu Chaitanya paila. Upon hearing this, the Pathan soldiers became hesitant. Then suddenly Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu regained consciousness. Hunkar kariya uthe bole hari hari, prema vesha nitya kare urdu bahukari. Coming to his senses, the Lord very loudly began chanting the holy name, Hari, Hari. The Lord raised his arms upward and began to dance in ecstatic love. Prema vesha prabhu jabe kare na chitkara, male chera hirdayena lage sheladhara. When the Lord shouted very loudly in ecstatic love, it appeared to the Muslim soldiers that their hearts were struck with thunderbolts. Bhai paya male chadi dil chari jana, Prabhu na dekhile nij ganera bandhana. Seized by fear, all the Pathan soldiers immediately released the 4 persons. The Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not see his personal associates arrested. Bhattacharya asi Prabhu re dhari vasaila, malech gan dekhi Mahaprabhu bahe aila. At that time, Bhattacharya went to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and made him sit down. Seeing the Muslim soldiers, Lord regained his normal senses. Malech gan asi Prabhu Vandila Charan, Prabhu aage kahe chari jana. All the Muslim soldiers then came before the Lord, worshipped his lotus feet and said, here are 4 rogues. Ei chari meli tomar dhatura khao yaya, tomar dhan laila tomai pagal kariya. These rogues have made you take dhatura. Having made you mad, they have taken all your possessions. Prabhu kahin thakna hai, more sangi jana, bhikshuk sannyasi more nahi kichu dhana. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, these are not rogues, they are my associates. Being a sannyasi beggar, I do not possess anything. Mrigi vyadhite ami kabu hai achetana, ei chari daya kari karena palana. Due to epilepsy, I sometimes fall unconscious. Out of their mercy, these 4 men maintain. But it's not epilepsy, it's an ecstasy actually. But those soldiers won't have understood. So Mahaprabhu said, I have epilepsy. Sahi malech madhye ek param gambhira, kala vastra pare sahi loke kahe pira. Among the Muslims was a grave person who was wearing a black dress. People called him a saintly person. Chit ardra haila tara, prabhu rede kiya, nirvishesha brahma sthape, swashastra uthaya. The heart of that saintly person softened upon seeing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wanted to talk to him and establish impersonal Brahman on the basis of his own scripture, the Quran. Advaita Brahma Vadasai, Karila Sthapana, Tara Shastra Yukte Tare, Prabhur Kaila Khandan. When that person tried to establish the impersonal Brahma conception of the absolute truth on the basis of the Quran, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refuted his argument. So, Quran doesn't talk about personal conception of the Lord, impersonal Brahma conception. Yei kahila Prabhu sakali khandila, uttarna aise mukhe mahastabda haila. Whatever arguments he put forward, the Lord refuted them. Finally, the person became stunned and could not speak. Prabhu kahe tumar shastra sthape nirvisheshe, taha khandi savisheshe, sthapiya chesheshe. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the Quran certainly establishes impersonalism, but at the end it refutes that impersonalism and establishes the personal God. Tumar shastra kahe shesha eka ishvara, sarva aishwarya purna teho shyama kalevara. The Quran accepts the fact that ultimately there is only one God. He is full of opulence and his bodily complexion is blackish. So in the end it says that his bodily complexion is blackish. The revealed scripture of the Muslims is the Quran. There is one Muslim sampradaya known as the Sufis. The Sufis accept impersonalism, believing in oneness of the living entity with the absolute truth. Their supreme slogan is An Alahak. The Sufi sampradaya was certainly derived from Shankaracharya's impersonalism. Sachidananda Deha Purna Brahma Swarupa Sarvatma Sarvagya Nitya Sarvadi Swarupa. According to the Quran, the Lord has a supreme, blissful, transcendental body. He is the absolute truth, the all-pervading, omniscient, and eternal being. He is the origin of everything. Srishti Sthiti Pralay Taha Haite Hahai Sthul Sukshma Jagatera Teho Samashra. Creation, maintenance, and dissolution come from him. He is the original shelter of all gross and subtle cosmic manifestations. Sarva Shrestha Sarvaradhya Karanera Karan Tara Bhakte Haye Jivera Samsara Taran. The Lord is the supreme truth, worshipable by everyone. He is the cause of all causes. By engaging in his devotional service, the living entity is relieved from material existence. Tara seva vina jiver na jaye sansara, tahara charane priti purushartha sara. I think so. This discussion goes on for some time, so we'll stop here. We'll take it up tomorrow. See anybody has any questions or comments. Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare